Welcome to week number 6. We are coming close to rounding the curve here of the series, this disciple making series. And I love who's been sharing and who's been with Ben last week and other speakers. I just love all this. And today one of the steps we're talking about is true discipleship happens by building bridges. It can happen by you sharing your story, it can happen, but we're looking for open doors. And I think one of the best open doors that we see through Scripture is, and it's actually a value of our church, is to lead by serving. Lead by serving. This is one of Jesus's greatest characteristics. And that's what I want to explain in this video. We talk about to have the character of Christ, to be more Christ-like. It starts with serving. I believe one of the greatest avenues you have to reaching your neighbors and friends and coworkers is to be a servant. I want to read the scripture for you. It says in Matthew 23, 11 through 12, it says, "The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." One of the things I heard many years ago is pride says, "I deserve." But humbleness is, "I will serve." And we can have an attitude that says, "I deserve this," or we can have a thing saying, "I need to serve." It's a different kind of position that we humble our hearts and we do what Jesus did with the disciples. When the disciples came in the room, they're following him in that Mediterranean dirt, walking the paths in sandals. The disciples walk in the room in John chapter 13, and he literally takes, this is a napkin, but a towel, a basin of water, kneels down and washes the feet of the disciples. The dirty feet, the sweaty, nasty feet. They're saying, we should be serving you. And he says, "I'm come to serve you." We need to be a person who leads like Jesus, that Jesus led with the towel. When you go to a fancy restaurant and the waiter or waitress comes and says, "How can I help you?" and here's the stuff and all this kind of stuff. There is something to be said about the power of the towel that Jesus tells us that he knelt down and served. That he took a towel, he took a piece of cloth and he washed the feet. There's power in that. There's power in the towel, that towel leadership. It's leading by serving. He also says this, whoever, in Mark chapter 10, 43 through 45 says, "Whoever wants to become great among you must become your servant. Whoever wants to be first must be a slave to all. And for even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve." We need to learn how to serve at school, at work, at church, in your marriage, with your kids, with your neighbors, with those you're trying to reach, those who you don't like. We need to be served. True leadership is not based upon a title. It's based upon a towel. True leadership is serving. At the one of the hardest scriptures, and we all want to hear this at the end of the life, is saying, it says in Scripture, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." How can we serve? How can we become better? How can we be more Christ-like in this? Read those verses together.